Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Lease. Today we're diving into the latest movie and TV news from around the industry. So buckle up and get set as we discuss some recent topics. First, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Poddex, for sponsoring this episode. Visit poddex.com and use the promo code Larry21 for 10% off your first purchase. It's poddex.com, promo code Larry21. And now on with our show. NBC recently announced that Days of Our Lives is moving from Salem to the streaming world of Peacock with a new limited series spinoff. The soap opera is one of the longest running scripted television series in the world. The limited series will be a first for the show, focusing primarily on the Horton and Brady families in a fictionalized suburban town. Days of Our Lives has been home to a number of notable actors and actresses who have contributed to dramatic storylines that include love triangles, domestic struggle, and even the occasional supernatural event. According to Deadline reports, some past favorites will be returning for the spinoff titled Days of Our Lives Beyond Salem, set to air on NBCU's Peacock streaming platform. The 5-episode series will bring back Lisa Rinna as ISA agent Billy Reed, while including a number of other current cast members such as Deidre Hall and Jackie Harry. Set over a long weekend, the show will follow the series' different couples as they travel to new locations, involving themselves in a mystery of stolen jewels. Additional casting for the series is set to be announced very soon. The return as Agent Reed will excite fans who last saw her character appear in 2018 as she races across the world to find the hidden treasure. The reality star first appeared on Days of Our Lives in '92 until her departure in 2013. Beyond Salem is produced by Corday Productions, company behind the original series, and written by the original writer Ron Carlivati. Meanwhile, Days of Our Lives doesn't show any indication of stopping on NBC. It recently received a 2-season renewal that will take the soap opera through 2023. So, while it may seem like the residents of Salem have been able to catch a break since 1965, at least Beyond Salem will disperse some of the dramatics through the rest of the globe. And now our second main topic is the Pokemon live-action TV show. It's coming to Netflix with Lucifer co-showrunner Joe Henderson. A new live-action Pokemon series is in the works at Netflix. Variety first reported on Monday. Lucifer co-showrunner and executive producer Joe Henderson is attached to write and executive produce the series. But as it's still in its early stages, no information is yet available about the potential plot. It's reportedly a live-action series akin to Detective Pikachu, though it's not clear if the new show will be connected. It's said that the new series comes along as Netflix makes a harder push into producing more anime content exclusive to the streaming service. New shows based on established properties like Far Cry, Splinter Cell, and The Terminator have already been announced. Live-action adaptations of popular anime like Cowboy Bebop and One Piece are also in development. This follows Netflix developing a live-action Death Note and homing the Pokemon shows Pokemon Indie League and Pokemon Journeys. Along with Lucifer, Joe Henderson is also known for working on shows like 11/22/63 at Hulu and Graceland at USA Network. He is currently developing a series adaptation of the comic book Shadecraft at Netflix, reportedly co-writing the pilot with Georgia Lee. The two will executive produce that project. Henderson penned the original comic. Launched as a video game series in '95, Pokemon has since expanded throughout every other major medium to become one of the biggest franchises in pop culture. There have been various animated movies and series based on Pokemon, each with their own fans contributing to make Pokemon overall the highest grossing franchise of all time. It also spawned the top-selling trading card game in the world with over 34 billion Pokemon cards sold. The Pokemon series was elevated to even greater success when a live-action movie adaptation was released in 2019. Detective Pikachu, starring Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu and Justice Smith as his handler, was a huge hit at the box office with $433 million in ticket sales, making it one of the highest-grossing video game adaptations of all time as well. Despite the movie's high earnings, there's been no word about a potential sequel to Detective Pikachu, perhaps because of the apparent plans to focus on developing a live-action Pokemon series at this point. Initially, there were reports before Detective Pikachu's release that there would be a sequel coming, but back in May, Smith said that the chances were starting to look slimmer. There's no information on who might star in the Pokemon series, or if Ryan Reynolds may potentially return as Pikachu. Likewise, a release date hasn't been announced by Netflix yet. Our third and final topic is Black Widow getting an early digital 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD release date. Shortening theatrical windows are the move for big studios today. Marvel Studios announced that Black Widow is debuting early on all major digital platforms, as well as receiving a 4K, UHD, Blu-ray, and DVD release. Black Widow is the character's first standalone movie, as well as the 24th entry into the MCU. Premiering early in July, Black Widow saw the best box office debut so far this year, with 80 million, numbers we haven't seen since the pre-pandemic era. Plus, the film made another whopping 60 million on Disney+. So, there's no stopping the continuing cash cow that is the MCU. Scarlett Johansson returned as Natasha Romanoff in Black Widow, who is forced to go on the run following the events of Captain America's Civil War and must confront a conspiracy tied to her past. She reconciles with some of her former allies from the Red Room, which ultimately becomes a touching found family narrative. They must team up to defeat Taskmaster, a mysterious antagonist who has the ability to mimic anyone's fighting style. Committing to their dual release of theatrical debuts and Disney Plus Premiere Access, Black Widow only had its premiere a few weeks ago on July 9th, and despite its fantastic debut numbers, Black Widow suffered its worst box office decline, or the studio's worst box office decline in its second week, which gave cause for theater owners to blame its Disney Plus release. And now Marvel Studios has announced digital release earlier than expected, all suggesting that studios and theaters aren't quite sure what to predict when it comes to post-pandemic industry. Black Widow hits all major digital platforms on August 10th, and you can pick up the physical copy on September 14th. And that is all we have for this episode of the Cinema Gold Show. Let us know what your thoughts are on the topics we covered. Send us a tweet at Cinema Gold Show. Consider becoming a financial supporter by buying us a coffee by going to buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching the Cinema Gold Show. If you liked what you heard, subscribe to our podcast on all major platforms. Follow us on Twitter at Cinema Gold Show. And like us on Instagram at The Cinema Gold Show. Support the show by buying us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. As always, thank you for listening.